Hey guys, it's Jeremy here at Middle Music Meltdown, back with another video. What I have for today, guys, is the final episode of Freddie Fridays for 2022. Sorry it's a day late, a little busy yesterday and near the end of the week with the holidays. I wanted to record a quick video for you guys and have it up for the end of the year. And as you can tell by the thumbnail, I decided to wrap up the year with something a little bit different. This is my, not necessarily top 5, but 5 reasons why I just love this band and got me into them, etc. And I just wanted to wrap up the year by just expressing my love for the band and why I love them so much. And please, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below and hit the like button. And list below the reasons why you're such a big Queen fan like I am. And to my fellow Queen family and Freddie Friday crew, also list below what got you into the band, why you love them so much like I do. It might be different reasons than I list during this video. But please, participate in the comments and we'll get a conversation going. So let's jump right in, guys. These are 5 reasons why I love Queen. Starting at number 5. Number 5 came to my head right away. It's you guys and myself, the fans. It takes a special kind of band to create that kind of fan base. They're a massive band. A lot of people like bands because of their music or their image. But for Queen, they had just this special thing about them. When the fans like you guys in the comments, I always give you guys praise. When you're so knowledgeable about the history of the songs, the lyrics, where it came from, history on the band themselves, the personal history that maybe a lot of easy listeners wouldn't know. And it takes a lot of a special band to create that kind of passion in a fan base, to be so knowledgeable about them and to be so passionate about their music, and watch these videos like my channel and other channels who react to Queen and talk about Queen and open up Queen merchandise. And as fans, you watch those videos because you want to see other people's reactions and you want to see the joy in people's faces as a fan, talking about Queen and Freddie and getting the new re-release on a CD or something. Like, I know other bands have fans and they're a big part of their, they're important, but Queen is a different level. Like, their fans are just more passionate about their music. They're very engaged and they're very knowledgeable. It takes a special kind of band to create that level of fan base and that kind of passion in a person. So yeah, fans is number 5. At number 4, the diversity of their music. This is one of the first things that drew me into the band. As I would hear the singles, I'm like, oh, I know that song. And then I would hear a song that sounds completely different. And I'm like, oh, I know that song too. Is that Queen as well? Like, a lot of my friends are like that too. Guys are not into rock and, into music as much as I am. I play them Queen, and I didn't realize Queen sang all those songs because they're so iconic and played on commercials, and even to this day they're played on the radio. Like, they're very, very popular songs. They have so many hits, but their song diversity is remarkable in my opinion. Like, in the 70s they were like more hard rock, rocking out, had a heavier edge to them. They're experimental in the studio. And then the 80s, they kind of changed with the times. Like, they introduced more synth and like keyboard kind of sounds, more retro kind of sounding music, but still had the Queen signature sound and the rock edge to it. They introduced more ballads, in my opinion, later in the 80s and stuff, it seemed like. But they had so much variation in their music. Even from album to album, they'd have like these really super heavy songs for the time, like in the 70s. And then on the same album, they'd have this like beautiful stripped down ballad that you wouldn't even think came from the same band. And they've just so much diversity. Like, they had hard rock, masters of making pop tunes. Like, they wrote the best hooks, really good melodies, guitar riffs are insane. They just could master any genre of music, pop, rock, opera, even in parts. So yeah, their music was diverse, it was eclectic, very unique sound, and it definitely made them stand out from their peers. And I always loved about the band. They were never just a hard rock band. They delivered the goods on every genre. And number 3, I just put on my notes here, band members, and then question mark. So I'll explain this as best I can. What I mean by band members, usually the focus on a band is the lead singer, because they're the face of the band, they're the voice of the band. 8 times out of 10, they write all the songs, the lyrics, in most bands, not in Queen's case. But in Queen's case, the band members are not replaceable. A lot of bands, if they don't like a guitarist, they're butting heads or whatever, they go, see you later, we'll get a new guy. Queen is one of the few bands in music history that I've ever followed where the band members are not replaceable. They all contribute to songwriting, and they're all really good at songwriting. Instrumentally, Brian May has a killer guitar tone, very unique, and a certain way of playing. Roger is a really good drummer and a really good vocalist, has a really good voice as well. And then the bass player, John, he's a good bass player. He doesn't get enough credit. He's kind of in the background. He's not the flashier guy in the band, but you don't realize how important his role is in the band. He holds kind of the band together. It's he plays his role. He does songwriting as well, but if we took any one of these guys out of this band, it wouldn't be the same band. Obviously, Freddie is a whole different story, but Freddie's a legend in his own right. But even the other band members in this band are irreplaceable. Queen wouldn't be Queen without one of these four guys in it. So I always loved the band because of the band members. They all contributed a lot to their songwriting, and it wasn't just one guy doing all the writing. So a lot of the hits came from different members in the band. They contributed a different sound and a different collaboration, which also kind of plays back to the diversity of the music. When you have like all four members writing songs and lyrics for the band, you get that diversity, and you get coming from different perspectives and angles. And that's what creates that diversity, is by allowing each band member to participate almost equally. Some might have probably wrote more than others, but at least they have their own sound and they have their voice being heard through their music as well. And at number 2, I have their live show. Unfortunately, I've never seen Queen live. I was kind of too young. When Freddie passed in 91, I would have been 12. So I never got to see Queen live in person. But I've checked out, pretty much every live clip I've seen on YouTube with you guys, and in the past on my own time. And they seem like arguably the best live band of all time. Like top 5 for sure. Like I've seen a lot of bands in my time. I've probably been to hundreds of concerts in my life, maybe even 1,000. I've used to go to shows like weekly, mostly metal and hard rock, but band is the one band I wish I could go back on like a time machine and see them live has always been Queen. There's other bands I haven't seen as well that are still living, but if there's one band I could go back and see live, it would be Queen, hands down. Their Live Aid performance is the greatest 20 minutes of live music I think I've ever seen. I watch that show, probably a couple times a month at least. I'm infatuated with that performance. He has the crowd in the palm of his hand. The band was tight. They're on point. Played all the killer songs in such a short set. And just their live show was really good. They always gave it their 110% every time. Always blew it off the stage and put it all out there. Always killer live band. I just wish I could have seen them. And number 1 has to be Freddie. I know how I said before, the band wouldn't be the same without John and Roger and Brian, but no disrespect to those guys, but Freddie's on a whole different level. Freddie's the main reason why I love this band. He is the greatest frontman of all time. Rest in peace, brother. Greatest male vocals, my favorite male vocalist of all time. My favorite lead singer of all time. He had so much charisma and the greatest voice. He made it look so easy. He could sing any genre of music, opera, pop, rock. I love when he gets that really gritty sound in his voice. He could have really made some even more heavy, hard rock songs. I wish he brought that grit down in his voice, and even in the earlier albums, and really made a really heavy, almost metal album. But Freddie was an icon. He was larger than life. He was like bigger than any performer I've seen. Like he was on a whole other level. Very few artists reach that kind of level where they're raised above everyone else. You know, a few come to mind. Michael Jackson was a legend in his own right. You know, King of Pop, Elvis Presley. There's certain people that reach a certain status in terms of being a performer and vocal ability, and Freddie is in the top five of all time, hands down. My personal favorite lead singer of all time. And the band definitely wouldn't be the same without Freddie. I know they kind of continued without him. I know Adam Lambert kind of does the vocals on some tours they did. And I don't blame them. They want to make some money still, and he does it justice. Like it's good, but I couldn't bring myself to see them with Adam Lambert. I'm sorry, no disrespect to him, but without Freddie, to me, it's not Queen. I know the band members are all the same, but without Freddie, I can't bring myself to see them without Freddie. But yeah, Freddie was God. He was a king, and he's sorely missed. And he is the number one reason why I love Queen. His voice, his performances, his charisma, and he was just a fun guy. Liked to have a good time, but at the same time, soft-spoken and reserved. Great man, and he's sorely missed. And so, guys, those are 5 reasons why I love this band. It kind of went longer than I expected. I apologize for that. But definitely list below reasons why you love the band. I'm interested to see what my fans say, if you had the same kind of thought pattern as I did. And until next year, guys, have a great new year and a safe one. And I'll see you next week. Keep it metal.